books about parenting from which I compiled a sort of how-to list. I soon discovered that the list did not have the power to change me. It became a burdensome reminder of the standard I was unable to measure up to. I lacked the fortitude for this new adventure. I knew that I needed to become a kind, generous, and confident mother if I was ever going to raise kind, courageous, confident children. I desired to be a godly mother who raised godly children, but where would I find the direction I so deeply longed for? I need help, Lord. Reading books had given me some basic ground rules for this new playing field, but I also wanted to learn from real-life examples. My mother-in-law, who raised 2 wonderful sons, had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and was no longer the vibrant help she had been when my daughter was born. The young mothers I knew seemed no more prepared for raising a son than I was. I had no idea how to ask for what I needed. I felt alone and desperate for answers. I've since learned that one of God's favorite prayers is that of a simple cry for help flowing from a humble and desperate heart. I was both humbled and desperate as I uttered the plea, I need help, Lord. God graciously answered my prayer by bringing several older godly women into my life. I am now 50, and I have to laugh at how old they seemed to me when I was in my 20s. These women were not scholars or trained in child development. As mothers of sons, they had traveled down this path ahead of me. They had insights and understanding into what I was experiencing. Their lives had not been perfect or free from trials. They were genuine, precious, and vulnerable, as they taught me what God had taught them. When I shared my struggles, I did not feel judged. Rather, I felt loved. Titus 2:4 instructs older women to admonish younger women how to love their husbands and their children, and this group of women wholeheartedly obeyed that command. Of all the friendships I've had, the relationship that developed with these women have by far been the most pivotal in my life. They taught me not only how to parent, but how to become the mother God wanted me to become. In writing this book, my heart's desire is to be an older woman God can use to pour courage and confidence into you, just as those women did for me. The mission of motherhood. One life-changing insight I received from these wonderful women was that I had been called by God to the mission of motherhood, and so have you. God has called you to join Him in the work He plans to do in your children. To become the instrument God will use to train your son somehow sheds glorious light on the unique ministry of motherhood, doesn't it? The Bible instructs God's servants to, quote, take heed to the ministry which you have received in the Lord, that you may fulfill it, end quote. Colossians 4:17. There's no pass, no get-out-of-jail-free card. Your ministry came in the form of your son. How will you prepare yourself for that ministry? God never intended mothers to go it alone. Through His Word, He wants to equip you to train your children to love and trust Him. As you follow God in molding the character of your son, you will undoubtedly face situations that are out of your control. It should come as no surprise that life is unpredictable. The Bible warns, quote, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you, end quote. 1 Peter 3:12. When you face struggles, yielding your emotions to the roller coaster of circumstances will only add to the stress and result in chaos. As you parent your children, if your focus is on every turn of events, you will certainly be overwhelmed and afraid. Fear and confusion will rob you of courage. By contrast, focusing on God and resting in His character will bring peace. Rather than subjecting your family to the gyrations of your emotional reactions, you can develop the habit of responding with an unwavering confidence in who God is. Knowing God intimately is a vital attribute of being a godly mother. How does one develop that kind of confidence in God? I looked to these older women for answers, and they directed me to the Bible. When I spent time with these women, I observed their peaceful responses to the chaos of life. They displayed a resolve to seek after the Lord in every situation. They were not just church ladies who did good things for God. Their hearts reflected His heart. They were by no means perfect, but they were genuine. Their lives had not been without trials and heartaches. Each had their own story of the struggles that they had faithfully endured. In my estimation, the greatest